What's up, YouTube? This is Ashley from littlebigmama.com, and over the weekend my family and I enjoyed a great day at the Strawberry Festival in Fort Mill, South Carolina. It was very hot, but we did a lot of planning beforehand, so we actually had great family time. We created some memories. My son ate ice cream for the first time, which is a huge deal. They both rode their first rides together, another huge deal. So let me share with you my 8 tips on how to make an outdoor festival that is super hot with your toddlers, how to make that fun and enjoyable. Tip number 1 is avoiding traffic. Now, if you're in the Charlotte area, you know that traffic going to and from the Strawberry Festival is absolutely crazy. But a big tip is do not go with the herd. We were in a line of traffic going towards this parking lot, and we got off one side road, and literally we found a parking spot in like 4 minutes, and people that were in that line probably didn't even find a parking spot. We still didn't see a parking lot there. But definitely don't go with the herd when you see a lot of traffic. Use Google Maps, use Apple Maps or whatever it's called on your iPhone, and try to take a side road and get around and park on some of the residential streets. As long as you're not parking near a fire hydrant, you should be okay. Tip number 2 is avoid that free bus. We're going with toddlers. We needed a huge double stroller. We have the elongated one that's like horizontal instead of vertical, or wider instead of longer. And getting that in and out of our car is already a big hassle at times. So imagine getting that on a bus with 2 kids and us, you know, I guess caravanning it, like trying to get up in the bus. So avoid the bus. So use number 1 and find great parking, and then use number 2 and just walk it out. My kids, of course it was hot, so I picked flowers and we talked and sang ABCs and things like that. But avoid that free bus going to the event. Also, imagine if your kid is having like one of those moments where they're having a tantrum, they're screaming and crying, and it is time to go. Like they're having a legit meltdown. The last thing you want to do is have your toddler or your baby in the heat having a meltdown waiting for that bus. So definitely plan on parking closer and then walking it out and keeping your kids, you know, entertained during the short walk. Tip number 3 is water, and lots of it. It is so easy to get dehydrated as an adult, but imagine children. Once they start getting thirsty, they start spazzing out. So definitely bring lots of water. I believe since this was like a quick, you know, day activity, we each had a bottle of water, then we had a big liter bottle of flavored water, just to add a little pizzazz to the situation in the event that the water just wasn't enough. So definitely keep that in mind when you are in, you know, outdoor weather. You want to have at least 1 regular sized bottle of water for every hour that you're out there, because you're sweating a lot. I know I sweat a lot. It was really, really hot out there, and that was one of the better strawberry festivals where it wasn't as hot as it could be. So definitely drink lots of water, bring sippies and things like that for your children so they can also get a ton of water. Tip number 4, don't buy tons of tickets. I believe there was a deal of like 30 tickets for $25. We legit only used like 12 tickets, and that is 2 rides each for my children, and I mean they were like 3 tickets each. So we ended up giving our tickets away before we left. So what I would recommend is doing a loop around and seeing what rides are worth it, are worth the wait in the heat. Again, they can have a meltdown at any time. So what rides are worth it, and then see how much they cost, and then buy tickets for those. And then if there are 2 adults in your party, have one person stand in one line, that's the longer line, and take the kid that might be a little bit older to the other ride and hit that up and then join together, if that makes sense. That actually would really work out really great, because my son rode only 1 ride, but my daughter rode 2, so we could have totally have did that and been done if we would have utilized that tip. But don't buy all these tickets. Again, you'll see people coming through the line and trying to sell their tickets for a discounted price to people in the line. We just gave ours away, took the L and left. Tip number 5 is to bring a blanket or a quilt or something like that for you guys to eat on. Now there's food around the perimeter of the festival, so everybody is like sitting on the grass. There is a tent, but the people that got a spot in the tent, they didn't move because it was shaded and it was probably cooler. So you're probably going to be stuck sitting in the grass. So definitely bring a quilt of some sort, just so everyone can sit comfortably. You don't know who was walking and blah, blah, blah on the grass. So you definitely want to cover it up and try to keep it as clean as possible. Make sure it's washable. I brought one of the first quilts I ever made, and I made it specifically for picnics. And this is the first time we were able to use it at this Strawberry Festival. So definitely bring a blanket. We used it twice. We used it when we first got there to eat, and then we used it again when we were eating ice cream. So definitely building some memories on that quilt that I made. Tip number 6, wipes, wipes, and more wipes. Now, as a mom or a parent in general, you know that baby wipes and wet wipes are a savior when it's hot and icky outside, your kids are sweating, or they have a meltdown. I always mention these meltdowns because toddlers are known for meltdowns. But you know, just like a quick, if they get something on their clothes, to wipe off their mouth, wipe off their hands, because things are dirty on those rides. You don't know when the last time someone wiped those off. So it's definitely good to keep them from getting sick and just have lots and lots of wipes on hand. There's travel packs I typically bring. Of course, we have, you know, regular diaper wipes, but we also have wet wipes. So those are some definite things you want to put into your day bag for a festival. Tip number 7 is to know your limits. What I mean by knowing your limits is that everyone has a time where it is just too hot, it is just too crowded, and it's just not worth it anymore. So know your limits and have an exit strategy, meaning if the kids wanted to ride one more ride, let them get that ride in, knowing that that ride is done, we're going to the car. Or after ice cream, we're leaving. So have an exit strategy so everyone knows that this is our last activity, absorb it in, and get ready to go. My limit is when I'm hot, I'm sweaty, and I'm tired of pushing that stroller. My husband and I, we take turns. He usually pushes it way more than I do, but I push it sometimes. But if it's hot and I'm icky and the kids are like getting tired or getting beat by the sun, it is time to go. So know your limits, make sure everyone is well rested before heading out, or they are ready for their nap when they get home, or they're sleeping in the car like my kids did. Such a beautiful thing. Number 8 is don't eat everything. I know it is very tempting to have like your special festival food or things that you want to eat, but a lot of those portions are so huge, and oftentimes it's something that my husband would enjoy as well, or my kids might want to nibble on. So definitely get a few things and divide it amongst everyone, and then go to the next spot and then get a few things and divide it amongst everyone. You don't want everyone to have their own, because then you're overeating, you have all these calories, and you're feeling heavy in the heat, and it's just not a good feeling. So just pick a few favorite things. For our family, it is definitely the pulled pork sandwiches at some of the kiosks around there, or some of the vendors. The ice cream, cotton candy for me, any type of kettle corn. So things like that, you definitely want to get a smaller portion and share it, because all you get is like a taste, and that's all you typically need. I mean, you don't have leftovers from the festival. So those are my 8 tips on surviving a festival or a day festival in the heat with your toddlers. I'm going to show you some awesome footage of the event now. Tell me.
Tell me. Tell me.